Should you hope that Prey gets a 4K release? Let's talk about it. On today's physical media news topic video, we're going to be talking about the possibility of the new Prey movie getting a future 4K release, what the benefits to a physical media release would be, what are some options on how they could release it, and then ultimately, what will they most likely do and why. So let's get right into it. Now to get into our first subtopic, and we gotta talk about the benefits to Prey possibly going to a physical media format, in particular 4K. Well, to me, first of all, this movie is awesome. It is really solid. It's a good movie. I just checked it out on Hulu, and I was actually pleasantly surprised and quite entertained with this one. This may be one of my favorite Predator movies now. Now, is it as iconic and great as the first one? No, I would not get it to that level, but is it maybe my second, maybe third favorite, right behind Predators? Definitely. This movie just was so creative. I really liked how they made it unique too, going with a different time period, also a different group of characters, so we got to see different weapons used in the fights against the Predator. I thought that was a really cool, interesting idea, and they executed well on that. Also, it was kind of more in line with the first Predator movie, with it being more of an intimate story, more of a close-knit group of characters to focus on, which to me made the moments a lot more intense and thrilling and suspenseful. And wow, some of these action scenes are just so great in here. And so I really like that style for this movie, because you only got one Predator, one hunter to focus on, and to me that just makes it more intense, kind of like the original did with Arnold, going up against the Predator. So I really like this style of movie. Definitely a great job these filmmakers did here. To me, once again, just so pleasantly surprised by this one. So let's get this one onto a physical media format. Let's get it onto 4K, because this movie looked awesome with its environments and large landscapes. I want to see it in sharp quality, especially with all these different costume designs, the characters' makeup, how the Predator looked. His costume was awesome, really, really cool. So I want to see all these things in really sharp quality. Let's sharpen up this image. The way to do that is going to be the 4K disc, because streaming, things get compressed. It doesn't look as sharp when it is streaming. So I know there's really cool details in this movie. I want it to shine through. That's why I want to get this on a 4K disc. Also, with the benefit of HDR, I think could look really good with this movie, because there's a lot of variety in colors and lighting with this movie. I want to see brighter brights. I want to see deeper darks, because it does shift, often throughout the movie. That way we just get more clarity to the image. So I think the HDR, the 4K sharpness of the disc can really work together to give us a better visual presentation of this movie, because I know this movie has it there. I just want to see it. So we got to get it onto the 4K disc. And this movie does have a Dolby Atmos soundtrack, but I don't want the sound to keep getting compressed when I'm streaming it. So I want to get it onto a disc so I can hear it more clearly, because that's going to be a big benefit there. I mean, there's a lot of good sounds in this movie. I mean, just how the Predator sounds with the Predator clicks, I think can come through a lot more nicely on a 4K disc. Also, all the animal sounds and just the character noises that are made, and just, sounds in the background. I think everything can shine through a lot more clearly, being not compressed. So we got to get it onto a 4K disc, because a Dolby Atmos soundtrack onto a 4K disc would just sound amazing with this movie. So I really do think it's going to benefit from a physical media upgrade in this kind of quality. And not only that, if we get it onto a physical media format, we don't have to worry about it being censored at all in the future, because this movie is under Disney. I do always get worried with them about them maybe censoring it a month from now, a few months from now, a few years from now, just because we know Disney has been one to censor movies that they have. And so I'm always cautious with Disney. And, if we get it into the collection on a physical media disc, then we won't have to worry about it. If it gets changed later on streaming, we'll have it on the disc, we'll be good to go. So to me, there's just so many benefits for this getting to a physical media format, especially on a 4K disc. Now to get into my second subtopic here, I'm going to talk about the options Disney has for releasing this one to physical media. Before I get into that, I have one con I did think of that I could mention here. If this one is released to 4K, I could see the CGI animals in this one looking terrible in the 4K quality, because to me, the CGI CGI animals on the streaming didn't look that great. They were already looking kind of suspect, like, look a little bit wonky here, the CGI on these animals. So I think if you even sharpen it up on 4K, you may be able to clearly see even more that, oh wow, this really wasn't great CGI done here. So I could see that being one negative if this does go to a 4K sharper format. But let's talk about the options. How could this one be released on the physical media? Well, to me, I see kind of two clear options here. We could either go with a standalone, we could go slipcover, or a steelbook standalone. I think either way would work. Both would be great for a collectability. Now, if you can do both, a steelbook and a slipcover standalone, I think that would be fantastic, because then I could add it easily to the collection. So I would prefer that. Now, I think that's probably the less likely option. I think the option that they might go with, as an example here, would be more of a collection box set. So remember, this Predator box set came out on 4K. We got the 4-movie collection here. I could see them releasing a 5-movie 4K collection and adding Prey into that, a 5-movie collection, or maybe even a bigger collection if they could add the Alien vs. Predator movies as well. So I think we're more likely to get Prey into a collector's box set of some sorts. I think it's less likely to get a standalone. I think they're less likely just to kind of manufacture this and distribute this. I think it's more likely for us to get Prey into a newer release collector's box set of the Predator franchise. I could see that happening, just as, hey, a bonus for those that want the Prey movie. Well, we're going to give you a whole collector's box set of all of them now. Basically just to try to get more money out of the collectors. How they're doing with the Halloween 6 through 8 Scream Factory's doing. They're doing a box set on that. I could see a same strategy being done by Disney, where they're like, hey, well, if you want this one movie, well, now you got to get them all in a collection. I could see that happening. So I wouldn't prefer that. Trust me, I would definitely prefer just the standalone 4K, because I already have all the other movies on 4K. But I'm just thinking of what are different options for them, and what could be done. So either way is a possibility, either standalone or in a collector's box set of some sort. Those are the options out there. Now to get into our third subtopic, and do I think we'll ever get Prey to a 4K release or on physical media in general? Well, this one I'm actually really worried about. Why? Mainly because it's under Disney. I feel like Disney does not want to be in the physical media collecting market game. We've seen with a lot of their physical media titles they have on the shelves, they're discounting them just to seem like, get these out of here, we want to get these off the shelf. And then they're not really putting out much new to physical media. And when they do, it seems like they don't really put much effort and care into their releases. We've seen Pirates of the Caribbean. That 4K did not turn out so good. And then Heat release, that's going to be coming out soon. I've already heard not so great things about that release, which I'm definitely going to get it in, check it out myself and review it and unbox it for you all on the channel. But if it turns out to not be so good like I'm hearing, then that's another bad mark against Disney. So even if Disney does decide to release this one, the physical media and 4K, they're probably not going to put much effort and time into making it look really good. They're probably just going to put, hey, let's slap on an Instagram filter to this one for the whole movie and call it a done day. They're not really going to look scene by scene. Okay, how do we color correct here? How's this going to work best for this scene? Let's give some, supervision to how this is color corrected. To me, I doubt they're going to take the time and care to really do the 4K format correctly or in the best way possible. So that gets me worried, even if they do decide to do a 4K release of Prey. So that's really unfortunate to me and us collectors out there. And I just think in general, Disney wants to really focus on streaming. They care about their streaming platforms. I don't think they really want to focus on physical media at all. And I think this is really something specifically with Disney, because I think if this was on another streaming platform or under another studio, there might be a slight possibility it could come out to physical media. For example, Netflix has had movies that have gone Netflix and then gone out to physical media, like The Irishman or Uncut Gems. Really good movies. So this to me is a good movie. This would have a possibility, if it was say on a Netflix, to possibly go to physical media for collecting market purposes. But because it's specifically under Disney, this is, the one studio where I'm like, wow, very, very little chance to none, maybe, just because I really don't think Disney wants to be in this kind of physical media game. Unfortunate, once again, for us. So I think it's such a slim chance. Yeah, it's a possibility. Never say never. But if I had to guess right now, is this going to ever get to physical media or a 4K format? I really don't think it's going to. And that's a shame because Prey, once again, I was pleasantly surprised by it. A really good, solid movie. And I could see this having an awesome collector's edition, a really cool steelbook. I mean, you could add so much to like a collector's box set of this one. And it would be fantastic. I just think it would be so awesome. But I just don't think it's going to happen. But let me know in the comments below, have you checked out the new movie Prey? Do you think it's worthy of a physical media 4K format? Would you buy this one as a collector? Or would you say, no, skip this one, just leave it on streaming? Give me your thoughts down below so we can have some awesome movie discussions. And if you're just discovering the channel for the very first time and you love collecting physical media and being part of this amazing mega fan community, make sure you subscribe right now to stay entertained and up to date on all the latest physical media topics.
Come on. Do it. Do it. Come on. Come on.
And if you like this physical media topic video, click another video to see more. Also, like the video, and this is Mega Mike the Movie Man reminding you to make every day a movie day.